Hello and welcome to Top Story. Today, the simultaneous visits to the Middle East by US President George W. Bush and French President Nicolas Sarkozy. Both men are in Saudi Arabia this Monday, where Sarkozy is due to give a speech to the all-male Shura Consultative Council. He's following in the footsteps of his predecessor, Jacques Chirac, who became the first foreign leader to address the 150-man body in March 2006. Bush is set for a tough meeting with the Saudi King Abdullah, which is likely to focus on Bush's efforts to promote peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians and the mounting tensions between Washington and Tehran. The US president arrives from Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, where he made an impassioned appeal for greater democratization of the region, called on the Arab states to reach out to Israel, and denounced Iran as the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. Well, joining me now to discuss the importance of these two visits by Nicolas Sarkozy and George W. Bush is François Géret, the president of the French Institute for Strategic Analysis and director of research at the University of Sorbonne Nouvelle. Thanks very much for being on Top Story. We heard President Bush speaking yesterday in Abu Dhabi about the importance of democratization in the Middle East. How well do you think that speech will have gone down?
Frankly, not very far. I do think that it is part of the traditional rhetoric of the Bush administration, and we can remember...
He did say it was to be the most important speech of his tour, of his eight-day tour.
Well, you can imagine that under those circumstances, he would underscore that this stage of his trip was the most important. At the same time, he almost said the same when he was in Jerusalem. So it depends on what kind of linkage you want to establish between the situation in the Arabic Peninsula and Iran on the one hand and the Israeli-Palestinian problem on the other end. Are they closely connected? Are they more or less disconnected one from the other? That's a difference of appreciation.
Nicolas Sarkozy will be talking to the Shura in Saudi Arabia today. Do you think we'll hear a similar message for him or something completely different?
I do think that I'm not expecting President Sarkozy to be so straightforward about Iran, but I can imagine that he will make the case that stability in the area is one of the key goals of French diplomacy, and that France will cooperate and work with all the states of the region in order to put an end to the terrorist threat. But I don't expect any significant designation or specification of the origin of that threat.
Is the coincidence of these two visits just by chance, do you think, or was there a certain amount of planning involved in it?
No, there is no real planning. I mean, it was clear that for Sarkozy, this trip was quite high on the agenda because he wanted to give a new impetus to French diplomacy and French also exports in the region. And as you know, exports are extremely important for his trips outside in China and very soon in India. So that's the key element. The American diplomacy has quite a different agenda since the Bush administration wants to make a breakthrough in the situation in the Israeli-Palestinian confrontation and want also to strengthen its position in front of Iran.
Well, you mentioned that the commercial aspect of Nicolas Sarkozy's visit, and it looks like there'll be a deal with the United Arab Emirates on nuclear technology. This will be the third Muslim state that France has struck a deal on nuclear technology with. Is this, do you think, a possible, rephrase that slightly, is there perhaps a solution in this to the Iranian problem?
Well, the Sarkozy has made clear that we were entering into a new nuclear age, and that it was absolutely proper, adequate to offer those new technologies to all the states who are engaged in the NPT and who are ready to fully respect all the protocols of the treaty and to comply by the rules set by the EIA. Therefore, he made clear that all Muslim countries are acceptable as customers, and that includes clearly Iran. It is a strong signal message, which is to say, since Iran is really committed and gave all the insurance that it will respect and it will avoid any step in the direction of a military nuclear program, so Iran can be chosen as a normal customer.
How does that go down with Washington, do you think?
I think, that more or less, in the end, an American administration will take the same kind of position. The Bush administration did that in the case of India.
We already have the Russians doing it with Iran.
Absolutely. So I don't expect the American industry to stay a part of the evolution. That said, it is clear that all the Western countries will sell technology to reliable partners, reliable
But in the
customers.
meantime, the American message on Iran is very tough indeed.
Well,
as we saw in the speech yesterday.
That's a problem. We have been seeing, and we are still seeing, some kind of schizophrenic position of the Bush administration. The very same day the national intelligence estimate was released, Bush mentioned Iran as the major threat. Today is the same.
Okay, and with that, I'm afraid we're going to have to end it. Thanks to our guest, François Géret. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of Top Story. Goodbye.
Top Story, the program dedicated to international news, was brought to you by Le Monde.
Who'll win the 26th African Cup of Nations? France24 takes you behind the scenes in this hotly contested tournament. Egypt will try to keep the continent's most prized trophy. Host nation Ghana will square off with Ivory Coast, Morocco and 2004 champions Tunisia. Our journalist on site will keep you up to date with every ball that's kicked. Don't miss our African Cup of Nations coverage on France24.